morning. Trini Christine Mason here. Today seems like the first day ever, if not in a long time, that I wore no makeup to work. So I was in a very deep sleep, and I had I would like to call them nightmarish dreams in my poetic mind. However, it wasn't so nightmare because these feelings were familiar. It was identical to working with the shaman. And when I say identical to working with the shaman, I mean from my Bufo experience. Come on now. I thought I packed that. Alright, turn off the heat. It's too hot. Well, maybe I didn't pack it. Oh, yes, I did. Alright. So, from my Bufo experience, there was like this deep mourning. And it was from the bottom of my soul, like these deep cries. And in my dream, I basically was re-experiencing that feeling and that being moment of this deep ancestral, deeply ingrained feeling and being part of myself. And sometimes when I'm doing readings, I will have this experience, or I will feel it when I connect to another client, like as if they have the same imprint in them. And I ended up engaging with a submissive last night, and I certainly wonder if that's hyper-connected. And I also had some other overwhelming emotions and fear that had paraded me before falling asleep. And I end up waking up and then going back to sleep. And it's in that state of going back to sleep that I actually started to have these dreams. And if it wasn't for this like cry and this feeling in my dream, I'm not certain that I would have woken up. And I had this feeling when I woke up that something wasn't right. And when I checked, my phone wasn't plugged in. And then, I instinctively ran to the kitchen to check the oven stove to see what time it was. It was 8:13 a.m. It's almost as if God woke me up on purpose exactly at this time, pulling me out from this deep slumber, making sure that I wasn't late for work. Another part of me wanted to completely stay in my dreams. I also didn't really manage to clean the house at all because I was so emotionally depleted and mentally deteriorated when I got home. I could barely function. I ended up not going to Barley Republic. I ended up eating what I had at home and attempting to save my resources. So, my soul still cries. And I'm interested in continuing working with Jose, my shaman. And he is my third shaman. First one in Peru, second one with my ex-boyfriend Lee, also known as my family member now, as always really. However, I guess you could say we crossed boundaries and explored avenues. However, nothing regretted. Aside from possibly me shattering this person's heart is what I would say. So I still feel a deep level of grief and sorrow and guilt and shame. I was being selfish, seeking love outside of myself, trying to use another to make me feel loved and to have an escape. Love is not just love, bonding. It releases oxytocin in the brain. It's the greatest drug. JCW license plate. You know I love when I see that. Toxic butthole in the house. Let me wrestle you. What's good? If you don't know, I work for Juggalo Championship Wrestling, also known as the Insane Clown Posse's Wrestling Federation. And God, is there nothing more than I would love than to be thrown around that wrestling ring at the gathering this year. I mean, you know I love throwing other people around too. But like, come on, let's go. I'm tiny, you can throw me around, I can take it, and I fight back pretty hardcore. Watch out, it might bite your ankles. I'm just kidding. That's just like my own, like, self-hatred / midget joke at myself, okay? I tend to be extremely short compared to everyone else. I would love to work with Dirty Ron McDonald. That's my favorite tag team. However, I don't know, I need someone to plant a little birdie inside Psychopathic's ear, you know? Dirty Ron and TV. Come on, we belong in the ring. How can you not have Dirty Ron at the gathering every year? How many freaking clown gimmicks are there in the world? Come on, how many people are down with the clown and clown wrestling gimmicks? Come on! Come on! Like, me and Dank the Clown, like, come on, like, we're chick clown gimmicks. Hey, what about Scarlet Checkers? She's also pretty dope. I'm not sure if she's actually wrestling. I know the subject just changed drastically, right? I just couldn't help it. It's my passion, it's my love. I love doing it, man. I love to fight. I love to debate. I love to hash things out. I've been fighting God since I've been a little girl. How do you think I came across this dedicated to the butterfly stuff? How do you think? How do you think this reached me? How do you think? Sometimes I think Insane Clown Posse forgot, like, what their original intention was, you know? Maybe, like, it wasn't their original intention as much as it became an intention along the way. And then, like, that intention might have been forgotten of, like, you know, rapping about all this crazy stuff as, like, an outlet to bring together all the toxic individuals like me. I was such an angry, heartbroken kid, you know? I wouldn't listen to myself and my feelings. And one day I put my ankle down and I shattered it when I was skateboarding. And I became somebody that, like, I wasn't. And, like, that was just, like, a physical representation that had to happen for me to realize that I had already been doing that. I stopped writing. I'm a writer. If you check my Instagram, you'll see some of my own personal writings. Maybe you want to ask me on there, did you write this? I tend to put things in quotes when I don't write it. Sometimes I don't. However, I'll work on being more mindful about that. Maybe I should put hashtag art by Trina Mason. That's a hashtag I use sometimes. Maybe I could do hashtag written by Trina Mason. I don't know. I like the hashtag art by Trina Mason because a lot of times that's my art that has like my photography, my writing, like my everything put into it. I've been an independent artist since I was like a little person, right? And I've been 100% funded by you since I was about like 15 years old. You know that? I mean, I've had little jobs here and there, but there's never been a greater passion than running my own business and being my own person. And, you know, being behind a desk and in like a cafe or like a restaurant, you know, like that hasn't always been the greatest place for me to shine my brightest. And being an empath, you know, you don't necessarily always get around the best people, and sometimes it's really hard to keep that high energy, PMA, positive mental attitude. I learned that from Kevin Gill. If it wasn't for Kevin Gill, I would not be a part of Juggalo Championship Wrestling, so I know there may be a lot of heat that is thrown at this gentleman. However, I gotta give him constant praises, dog, because he gave me a chance. And I know I wasn't the best wrestler, and I probably didn't make him look so good. Though many of you know that I'm not really a fighter when it comes down to it. My narrative says I'm gonna fight you. However, the truth is I just want to love you. And I'm just fighting to love you. That's also pretty incorporated into my gimmick. Oh man. I'm gonna keep eating my lip gloss. I also have a smoothie here I haven't really touched. Today I got carrots, cucumber, strawberries, banana, blueberry, ginger powder, chlorella powder, extra hemp seed, and beets. Hope I'm not forgetting nothing. Now, you know, this isn't the most delicious, best thing every single time I drink it. Oh, there's parsley in here too. Though, I tell myself a story, this is good for me. Let's see if today's tastes better than normal too. Yeah. The chlorella powder and the beets and the carrots, the celery. But like, there's just enough strawberry and just enough blueberry to make it a little sweet. Yeah, man, I feel like an instant boost from the moment I drink this. I've been pretty bad about taking my dragon pearls from my acupuncturist. Kind of keep beating myself up about it. I'm like, dude. Or should I say, Dude's priestess, Trina, what are you doing? You're supposed to be taking your medicine. You'd feel so much better if you got your hormones under control. I'm kind of nervous. This is my first Monday at work. I'm praying and hoping that it's like a lucrative day. And if not, I hope that I can have the discipline to read my books. Or at least to meditate and connect or something, you know? And I'm interested in being of service to others. Like the flower healing ceremonies especially. I keep talking about that, man. I don't know how I'm going to make this happen. I want to do it. I thought about doing it for $50. You know what I mean? Making like a big gathering and say like, $50, meet me here, and then maybe I'll bring some roses for those who forget, you know. I could even host a workshop to teach others how to do this. This is a great medicine that definitely should be incorporated into other people's lives. Very sacred medicine. Trina Medicine believes in the flower healing medicine. That also goes with Bach, B-A-C-H, flower therapy. It's so cold, so I haven't really been in a place at work where I've been doing my yoga at work. A lot of times when it's slow, I'll get to go outside and just connect to the dirt, ground myself. It's been a little too cold for that. My feet are still cold even through my shoes, and I have pantyhose under my pants and socks, like thick, fluffy socks. Still cold feet. Wearing my favorite red shoes from my partner. My hiking shoes I picked up from Bellingham, wearing a red shirt, color dosing in red, trying to get to that fight, that root, that survival, that child, grounded nature. I've been fighting a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, and a lot of fear. Combating it with mindfulness, having to reprogram my subconscious. Lucky for me, I have a partner who's so dedicated to mindfulness, so he's excessively helpful at like getting me to notice and to watch myself when I make the switch. Now, to do this practice without his guidance, you know? It's a process and a practice, and there will be times where I go completely backwards and forget everything I have ever learned. It happens. There's so much stress. My jaw is just so tense. I need to go see my acupuncturist. But my time, man, I'm just so stressed out with my time. Truthfully. Like I'm like, when's the time for me? You know? I need to like really sit with my at-a-glance and write things down and like really budget my time. I got so many things I need to do. I'm like so overwhelmed with the agenda. I still gotta take George to the veterinarian. I'm not gonna feel good about myself unless I do that, so it could be nothing wrong with his eye, you know? Could be normal, but I need to know. And if he has to have surgery, I don't care. I'll pay the $1,000. That's where my goals are at, man. I would love to get some acupuncture. need to take care of that. However, she's so far away, man. She's so like booked. It's hard to get into the office sometimes. Is like such a mess right now. Like I got so much trash that needs to be taken out. Being your own boss gets overwhelming sometimes because you got to do everything all by yourself all the time. I got to manage my emails. I got to manage my video content. I got to manage my picture content. Like I'm an independent artist. Like I'm always doing my own stuff, and I'm trying to like be active in the world and do actual things instead of just like take pictures and videos. You know what I mean? Like as much as I enjoy doing that as well, and being capable of generating income based on providing energy in that way. However, like I'm interested in serving so much more. And then there's another part of me that's also interested in continuing the avenues of modeling. However, like my image I've noticed has drastically changed. Like I recently did a photo assignment, and like I realized like, man, like what am I doing? Like I realized like I was role playing in images. And while there's like a part of me that is like that, it's not really the part of me that like I want to be more of. You know what I mean? Like I'm an aging woman. I mean, I would love to be like still like fitness and like a badass, of course. Excuse my French, right? I got that from Barney. French. I speak French. Excuse like the nearly racist comment though. What kind of society do we live in? Hey yo, please do not get over. Thank you. There was like this giant truck with all these logs. I was like, oh man, come on man, I'm trying to get to work on time. Like I need to keep going. I'm just like shocked, like with the synchronicities of events. Like, there's no telling me there's no God, okay? Like, you could try with all your might to, like, disprove me, and you can be, like, a Satanist and, like, tell me how much pain and suffering there is in the world. But there is, like, divine time and divine order. And just, like, this divine energy, this Shiva and Shakti, sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system, this divine consciousness. Oh, I'm so addicted to just connecting and being with them. When I say them, it's the Great Spirit or God. I call it them because I identify it as like a male and a female energy. Like Father Air, Father Spirit, Mother Earth, right? Like there's like a combination of these energies, that Shiva and Shakti, a divine union that lives within all of us. You know, that's why like some of these guys, they come to me as like a dominatrix and they're like, hey, I would love you to have me be your sissy boy. And they want me to like dress them up in girly clothes and like, you know, own them as my pets and like get to like play Barbie with them, which is totally cool. You know, like I accept you for who you are. There's no shame, there's no disgrace, nothing wrong. If you want to play and to explore your mind, I'm here. I provide a space. However, I do expect to be paid for my time, so do not expect me to just talk to you for free unless like it's like a divine thing, if that makes sense, you know? Like, God's gonna tell me if I'm supposed to work with you. A lot of times it works like that. And then sometimes, like, don't forget, like, I have my ego still, you know what I mean? Like, God will tell me I'm supposed to work with you, and I'll be like, dude, I can't handle this. And I have free will, so I'm allowed to be like, not gonna work on this part of myself that I don't like right now. It works like that. However, with the shades of my heart that is broken, like still, I recognize those who are drawn to me and that I don't want to work with, that those are the ones I need to work with the most. So instead of running from myself, because they are me, so I run from you, I'm really scared of healing. I'm scared of bringing up my own pain, my own symmetries to yours. And sometimes it's just the body's way of naturally protecting itself. It wants to forget. I'm like spitting smoothie everywhere. You want to drink my spitted smoothie? Come fast lane. We're going slow. What's up? It's going 66. Some people are like, that ain't slow. There's no irony of that 6. I just read this article yesterday talking about the number 6 and its spiritual meaning and how it represents how man will never reach spiritual perfection. I thought that was interesting. You can Google like Bible number meaning 6 and look it up and find it for yourself. Pretty interesting. It was also representing how like man has constant perversion and corruption. Like even though like God has like for every forgiveness, that like it doesn't stop man from like, you know, being evil or being naughty. And then 666 also comes from humans, carbon. We are made of carbon, so we are 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, and 6 protons. So, fun little fact. Fun fact. I just got a song in my head. What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor early in the morning? Early up she rises, early up she rises, early up she rises, early in the morning. Still a lot of insecurity and feeling like a level of humility and not being good enough, not being worthy, or recognizing, making an inventory like how I really messed up, you know what I mean? One of the ways that I personally mess up is sometimes I get a big ego and like I give off this attitude and this energy like I know better than you. However, like my friend Mark said, that same teacher that lives within me is within you also and teaching you also. And so what I will see in you is what I see in me. I thought that was beautifully well written from him. I would love to do some recordings with Mark. I think that would be fun and very enlightening for all of you, especially for you to hear his voice and his comforting energy and to see what type of work he does. Excuse me. Maybe I could convince him to let me do like a small promo video for him. I'm not like a magnificent editor or anything like that. But I think I'm pretty good at bringing people on shine, you know what I mean? Unless like you are evil, then I'm pretty good at like reminding you how evil you really are. However, still remember that you are just a reflection of me. Sometimes the evilness is needed in the world. Like, I hate to say it. Though, like, if there wasn't all this abandonment and all this neglect and all this disrespect, like, just notice how some of us wouldn't be the person that we are without that training. To be able to know the difference. That brings an Uncle Frank quote to line. It goes, for those who truly understand pain and suffering, they never wish to cause it. To hurt you. Man, I done goofed, you know? All I can do is work in silence and attempt to focus on myself and be in my inner world instead of outer world. With that said, your spoiled brat would say, make sure to send $1 for every single minute that I've given you in this video. If you've gotten any entertainment out of it and you've enjoyed passing the time with me and being able to see my suffering. I ruined it, right? Your spoiled brat wouldn't be like that. For real though, I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. Ho'oponopono. 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 Thank you so much for allowing me to share with you what I have received. I have so much work to do. Please allow me to have time with myself. Ho'oponopono.